I couldn't quite get there, and it was always that late game that I was struggling with when I've played it in the past. But I love the idea of these Immortal Phoenix. I love the fact that you can use them as a discard cost, you can throw them away, but then they're always there. Immortal is in the name, and it certainly is.
In essence, they're a kill spell. That's kind of what Rek'sai is trying to do with these Immortal Phoenixes. As you can see, we have the normal package, Soaring Scout, Honest Broker, Vengeance. We don't always see that. The Drag under there as well for a little bit of removal later on. Cull the Weak is where you're using your Phoenix to kill your Phoenix, bring it back. You can't bring back a Phoenix off a single Cull the Weak, just as a note. If you kill it, it's not in the trash by the time that you are looking for that trigger, but this is a relatively standard deck all round for a Rek'sai player.
Yep, we're going to be seeing game 3, just to give a little bit of context to you viewers at home. Obviously, these games are happening simultaneously, so we have a little bit to give you here. We give you a sprinkle of Rek'sai, but just a little treat for you guys at home. But honestly, looks like a great list. It's got consistency, it's got power, and I love being able to put cards like Vi in this as well, and just bringing in those really strong late game destructive units.
No Vi in the main here, no Under Titan either, which is something we do sometimes see. I like the addition of Brynn here when you're trying to deal with some of these heavy spell decks and you're just looking for the win. I wonder if it will have enough power as the game goes on to deal with the removal possibilities that a Draven presents. But
I think that's my concern.
Yeah,
because that's what I mean. Like when I'm saying like about this Vi, that's a card that I'd like to put in this deck as playing against Draven, and maybe it's in the side deck, we don't know that. Maybe there is some power there that can be utilized. But I think we get a little sneaky peek here.
So
Ferris Forerunner, that's nice.
The Ferrises, I like the Divine Judgment. I've seen a few people running one of this in the side just for that resetability, and it's like, well, I already have my stuff out. I have my Phoenixes. I have the ability to recur them. I don't really care about being on 2 runes. Let's go down there and let's battle in the mud.
Exactly, and I love that. It's a case of, okay, well, I've got everything I need, so let's just put everything back, and you kind of go back in time. You go back all the way to the start of the game. You restrict what your opponent can do, and then just keep up with the pace of the game.
Yeah, I wonder what sort of type of Draven we'll be seeing. We've seen already in the first series of this round 2 that you can mix and match between Miracle and mid-range depending on what you want. I like the Against the Odds edition. It's something we're seeing a little bit more for when you really want to try and control a battlefield with that one unit against these recruit heavy decks, against these swarmy decks. It allows you just all of that extra might on the defense. So as we get into the game, we'll see exactly where we're sitting in terms of battlefields. I will mention as well, something that I really noticed with Rek'sai is sequencing is so important. When you have your Rek'sai Voidborrower trigger, when you have the Sun Disc triggers that you need to get off effectively, and then when you have things like the Void Rush coming out as well, so important to make sure you're sequencing things properly.
Early game seal, we're not mad. A Phoenix in on a hard play there, into the base. Not a bad thing. Again, it's Immortal for a reason. It's okay for it to come out naturally as well. And actually having that really kind of expensive drop at the beginning of the game, bringing the Phoenix in, can be really beneficial. Being able to use that seal on your first turn, play a 3-power unit with Assault 2, really does set the pace for the game.
But then immediate answer here from Draven with the Treasure Hunt into the Noxus Hopeful. It's so much power for such a small cost. You know, you're paying 4 and you're getting 5 power out of it in totality. We'll move into the Sanctum. Have that Candlelit Sanctum trigger alongside the Void Burrower trigger. And so look at the top couple of cards here and then decide how we want to place these. I assume this is the Candlelit Sanctum trigger first, so we can put one on the top if we want. We can put them both back on the top, or we can put one down, both into that recycle, and we will just recycle one of them and then reveal a Piercing Light and another Phoenix off the top from Rek'sai.
The Rek'sai ability being kind of revealing more cards and kind of churning through your deck, I think is one of the big strengths of the deck, and I really love that that's being utilized here. But putting the Phoenix to the bottom, going for the Piercing Light, so we are going to have one Phoenix to work with for a while.
Importantly, on the Rek'sai Void Burrower trigger, the Legend trigger, you do have to pay costs. With Void Rush, you get reduced by 2 energy, but this is one of the things with the sequencing where you kind of want Legion if you're playing your Sun Disc, but you can't play a spell that's too big before you conquer, because otherwise it causes issues. And you see the Immortal Phoenix there being used just as fodder. Just chuck it in, get a point, kill it off, it will come back.
It's fine,
you know?
He's all right. He loves being in the discard pile. He'll come back later for fun.
Yeah, chuck him in the trash.
He loves it.
You put the trash on fire, though. This thing's like burning through all your other cards.
Exactly. Yeah. Okay, Treasure Hunter doing its thing. Moving on into the Candlelit Sanctum there. Of course, we get the trigger. Fight or flight or stack deck. Ooh, what a choice.
I mean, you know, it depends what you have in hand, right? If you already have a FOF in hand,
you keep it.
Yeah, I'm going to keep it. You keep the FOF. But if you're looking to try and get through more cards in your deck, you're looking for some more of those like rebukes and such, then a stack deck does help you dig a little deeper. I didn't quite see what was kept overall. We're going to have the Draven Vanquisher come out once again, and no real surprises here from the Draven early doors.
Here we go. Mascalismos once again
Going
on in. We've got a lot of resources, but nothing in play currently, and I think that's the key part here, is that we are currently kind of lacking on board presence, although that won't stick around for long. And a sealing into a seal, you can't ask for better.
It's an incredible play. The seal into seal is one that we all love doing. Then into a piercing light. Because a unit was left to the battlefield, it's really easy for this piercing light to find its targets. 2 triggers or 2 targets on the Treasure Hunter. I'm actually not even going to repeat it. I was wondering if they were going to try and kill off the Draven with it, but decided they didn't want to use the extra power for the runes. Did have enough for the repeat, and instead, okay, well, Draven's dying anyway. This way we only have to recycle 1 rune in totality, so call the week.
And that's what it's all about.
Yeah.
It's about denying your opponents their resources. And now, of course, Clanker doesn't have anything on the board, doesn't have a champion unit to bring into play, has to use cards from their hand. Do they have any worthwhile units? I couldn't see.
Nor could I.
There we go then. So it's a surprise for all of us. But
we
what
can't
they
see
need
on
to
this
be
side,
doing,
and we double seal on this side. You know?
What they need to be doing at this point is re-establishing that board quickly, because otherwise Rek'sai is going to bring things back and plunder away.
Okay.
Luckily, we got the Darius here.
Bryn here. Spinning axes, I've missed the other 2. I think it was a FOF and a falling star.
Nice.
As the
That's
remaining
not bad
cards
at
in
all.
Grab Clanker. Yeah, that's very solid. Darius comes down, no need to pseudo-accelerate it by playing one of those other spells. Mascalismos has a Soaring Scout in hand, just going to put that out. Nice little death knell on that, and then chucks in a Noxus Hopeful with
lovely.
that Legion effect. So.
And again, it's just re-establishing the board for both players. Both players were kind of pushing back and forth, and now Clanker really does have a bit of pressure on their hands to kind of start moving forward before Rek'sai does exactly what it loves to do, and just flood the board with units, keep them there, and just be that kind of like frustrating aggressive kind, where you just can't seem to keep their stuff off the board long enough because they just keep bringing it back.
Yeah, we'll look through with that stack deck, make it very clear which card we are taking into our hand. And then we will move in. Didn't quite see what it was. It was a fight or flight at the top of hand there. I guess at some point you do want to start looking at scoring points. You could put 100%. Your Darius in here somewhere. There's not kill threat on the other side with only that 5 might. And so we will cycle here and falling star onto that Noxious Hopeful.
Which I like. Again, you're removing the larger threat of the 2 for a potential of kind of making your unit bigger with spells, and then going in and taking out the Darius. Actually, you're going, okay, no, I need to protect my back here a little bit. So we've gone in with the Darius. Of course, we get that lovely battlefield effect as well. So we get to pick one of these 2 cards and pop that on the top there. Looks like both went to the top, so they must be quite lovely. Then it just looks like we're kind of maybe setting up for just waiting around for next turn. And that's the thing with these decks, is that they kind of need to take their time at this stage to be able to almost one-up each other.
We've got a Void Rush in hand. Going to conquer with the Soaring Scout down towards this bottom side for Mascalismos. Use the Rek'sai trigger. Remove the counters from the Darius. Okay.
Into a Void Rush. I kind of like that.
Yeah, going to play the Void Rush. Deciding against the Hidden Blade, needs to pay for it, using the seal. Seal's so important in this Rek'sai deck. You have a bunch of these individual power costs that you really want to get through. So now we reveal the top 2, play one of them, reducing its cost by 2, and then we draw any we didn't play. Importantly, different from the Rek'sai Legend effect, where you are recycling the one you don't play, or the ones you don't play. Here you draw the one that you don't play. I'm going to play that Falling Star.
This is exactly how I'd have gone with this. Play the Falling Star, remove the 1 threat on the board, don't allow the whole point, and you've got the Vi in hand for later when you want it / need it, because at the moment there aren't a lot of cards in the discard pile. You want Vi to come in and when she is big.
Yeah, you really do. Looks like we're just going to get the Spinning Axis down mitigating any effect of that falling star. That Darius will have 6 damage marked on him, but that will be cleaned up at the end of turn. Mascalismos is going to try and Void Rush out here. See if we can find that little bit extra damage that we need to work our way through the Darius. Currently sitting at 8 might in total, so we just need 2 more if we can sneak it out.
We could get Hex Tech Ray, Falling Star. There's a lot of cards that could do it, but are we going to see them off that Void Rush again? Void Rushing twice in 1 turn. What a rush.
Looks like we have a small discussion with the judges here. So the previous Void Rush was paid for.
Yes.
And then reduces the cost of Falling Star by 2. That's how Void Rush reveals. Reveal the first 2 cards of your main deck. You may play one of them, reducing its cost by 2. So it's a mandatory reduction.
Yes, and it just happens.
Yeah.
So it's not something that kind of can be affected while the game is ongoing, and it just happens. It was cheaper, and then we can go ahead and play another one, and again reduce the cost of the next card.
Yeah, by 2 as well. So we'll see exactly what the concern is here. My assumption is, I think I saw it properly, was Mascalismos did tap for the Falling Star to pay its 2 cost. But you don't need to do that. So all that would have happened was the 2 energy would be floated, and because energy doesn't leave a pool in Riftbound the same way it does in some other card games like Magic, you would still have that 2 energy to be able to cast
to play
the
with
future
this turn.
spell.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. But we'll see exactly if that's what ends up happening. Get the judges who know it all to work it through. So at the moment, like, Draven's in a solid position. I think if this Darius does fall, we've talked about it a little bit, you lose control of the battlefield, and also lose kind of control of the game because you don't have as many units to work your way through. But it's Draven. It's very good at finding a lot of units, Amy.
Yeah, if there's any deck that's going to bring it back with that, finding units, being able to accelerate them as well, being able to push into those battlefields really quickly, is going to be something that, you know, Draven naturally excels at. So actually, even without a strong board presence in base, it's okay for Draven to have that kind of slow start. Whereas with Rek'sai, you need to have it on the board, or you need to have the Phoenixes in the discard pile, and then the Void Seeker. I love that card so much. I think it's one of the strongest signature spells in a vacuum. Like being able to just take 2 and then go, oh, I'll have that one cheaper, please.
Go,
and then the other one is going to go in my hand.
Yeah.
That's a 2 for 1. Yeah. That's great. I'm loving a good bargain on that.
It's, you know, it's buy 1 get 1 free.
It is, and I love it.
We have Foff and we have Bog off. Bog off, right? Yeah. Yes. Everything ends it off. It's, you know, it's really nice for the Rek'sai deck. I do think they seem to be lacking a little bit of removal.
Yes,
overall,
big time.
When you're like falling starring a Darius to try and get rid of these, hard bargain coming out for the Void Rush. So we have 2 runes to pay, but it looks like it wasn't repeated, which does mean that this Void Rush will happen, but we don't have a huge amount of energy. Can't play the Bryn here, we'll just play the Honest Broker here, and Bryn here will go to hand. And,
well, sadly for Mascalismos, and great for Clanker, is Darius survives thanks to the Spinning Axe.
Yeah, Spinning Axe is such a powerful equipment. It does so much. The quick draw, the +3, it is incredible in decks like this. And we don't talk about it too often, but it is often one of the reasons that Draven can be in such strong positions, because you don't usually see it as a huge include, but the ability to get units out of this sort of kill range is so strong. It's so strong. Going in with a stacked deck. Oh my goodness, we got another Foff. Okay, it was a rebuke. I know I said it, you're welcome. But no, Spinning Axe is a fantastic gear, and honestly is one of the reasons that Draven is so strong, because it can get you out of so many sticky situations. It's got an absolutely phenomenal effect. It brings so much power onto the board really quickly. It's, like, you can't even be mad at that. It's so good, and we didn't see it in our first feature match of this round. So being able to finally see Spinning Axe come into play and actually rescue Clanker from otherwise a little bit of a troublesome situation just means they can relax in this situation now. They can take their time a bit more and still lead the way in points. Yeah, they're just in such a strong position at this point. It's hard for Rek'sai to often find that big late game threat, and we talked about it a little bit when we were looking at the deck. It's like you don't have your Vi, you don't have something that can really outpace a Darius when it has a Spinning Axe on it, and when this Draven can get through so many cards at a time. Bring it back, ready it with a second card per turn, then go back in it's basically a 2-point per turn engine now, pretty easily. Just this Darius with the spinning axe equipped.
Yeah, we brought that back nicely, and then kind of gusted away the only card in a base so that Mascalismos can't score that point for holding. Great, love that, and then pushing Darius just in and being like, okay, well, here's your threat for next turn. Can you do much? Because I can't see much on the board right now. We do have Phoenix in the discard pile. We do have a Vi in hand because we saw that earlier. So there is a potential of a late game kind of threat and comeback. The more cards are in the discard pile, the stronger Vi gets.
Well, let's see if that's where Mascalismos does end up going for now. And you do also have Rek'sai Breacher if you want to bring it out, giving Accelerate to any of those units you get off the top of the library. You do still have to pay the Accelerate costs for those. It's one of those cards where you read it and you're not 100% sure unless you know the exact rulings around Accelerate, but you do definitely have to pay for those costs. Honest Broker going into Candlelit Sanctum. Once again, we are looking through these top cards, trying to stack something up well for our Rek'sai to connect with. I think it was 1 to the top, 1 to the bottom. We'll have the Rek'sai trigger, and we'll see exactly what Mascalismos thought was worthy of being on the top. A Blood Money and a Hidden Blade. Okay. Where are we going to go with it? We can Hidden Blade the Darius if we want. Does give more card draw over to the Draven. Could even Hidden Blade our own Honest Broker, which is something you do sometimes see.
I was going to say, even for the Death Knell cost as well, but actually, yeah, just deciding to remove the immediate threat on the board and go, well, I can see you have no other units in play, so maybe I can just start holding.
Yeah. It does give more card draw over to grab Clanker, though, and that is where Draven thrives so much.
Very much so. We've discussed it a lot. We've seen it a lot already.
Yeah, okay.
Phoenix comes back into the fray from its favorite place, the discard pile. Assault 2, when they're attacking, you can kill a unit with a spell. You can play with kind of a trash-based element. You can just pay to be able to reanimate that Phoenix, bring it back from the trash at any point. It's a really strong unit. Obviously, we won't be using it as an attacker on this turn, but having that +2 for assault when it's being aggressive is great into these aggressive style decks like Draven.
Yeah, and it means that Grab Clanker now needs to think about how am I holding battlefields, how am I playing around the fact that this Phoenix can come in for 5 next turn. There's also a Soaring Scout and an Honest Broker in base, so it's not just 5 that you're looking at, it's a total of 8 with those 2 Death Knell effects. Bryn here early for Grab Clanker. I think Mascalismos may be playing, as we would say in Magic, Hellbent. No cards in hand, so he's just like, oh, I'm good. Nothing
Honestly,
I can do there.
That's fine with Rek'sai, though. Yeah. You have your Phoenixes. As long as you are able to cast a spell, you can then play that from your discard for 1 energy or power. That's phenomenal.
Also, I think you're really happy as Mascalismos because the Bryn here is just played out as a unit. There's no, I don't want you to be able to stop me from winning. It's purely a 5-might unit that is being played out there. And now you're playing your own Bryn here to avoid perhaps that fight or flight or rebuke coming out from Grab Clanker as you go for this next conquer.
Yep, not being able to play cards is kind of big in a card game where you like to play cards.
Yeah, it is. It's very, very strong. Okay.
Very impactful. Going in, okay, with the Soaring Scout to another battlefield to keep that point advantage. And I think Rek'sai has a really strong point here. We've, of course, got the Void Burrower. Would you like Soaring Scout or Soaring Scout?
Bird's the word.
Yep.
Bird is the word.
There we go. That was an easy decision. We'll take another Soaring Scout. Again, littering the base with units ready for a really big hold on these bases, where Grab Clanker just doesn't have much to fight back with right now. Will they be able to bring this back? If any deck can, it's Draven.
Yeah, he's still got 3 points as well. So you hold to 6. It's 2 turns still before Mascalismos can win the game.
Yes.
So for Grab Clanker, it's kind of about developing your base again. You don't have to go and try and kill off this Soaring Scout. You can. It will give the rune channel to 4 Mascalismos when the Death Knell comes off. It gets you a point, you control a little bit of a battlefield, but because there's a Bryn Hill on the other side, you know unless you are able to actually bolster up your defenses there, you are going to lose on that rebound attack. Gives you the Glorious Executioner trigger as well, which is nice, and you get that little card draw.
And hopefully that'll be enough. Hopefully these cards in hand are actually going to help us to re-establish that board and have kind of a much stronger stance, because unfortunately for Grab Clanker, Mascalismos just has a lot of units, more on the side in our champion zone, which can come in accelerated. So we have a lot of power dwindling in base, kind of posing that threat and saying, you're now on a clock.
Yeah.
And if you don't start to react to exactly what I'm doing and what you can see I'm building up, then unfortunately your time is going to run out, my friend.
Yeah. My expectation is, if Grab Clanker doesn't really bolster up this Bryn here at all, we'll see Tide Turner comes out, so my expectations don't matter, because immediately that Bryn here has been swapped out for a Tide Turner. Can just go in with an Immortal Phoenix plus one of those Honest Brokers if you want. It defends you against a fight or flight, knocking back one of them. You still win the combat, but the Overzealous Fan now means you need to go in with a little bit more if you are going to try and take that battlefield out of Grab Clanker's control. Mascalismos will be in advantage when it comes to point gain, though, because they go to 6 on their next turn, then Grab Clanker goes to 6. So if it is just a hold war on battlefield to battlefield, Mascalismos wins with the 1 turn clock extra.
Yep, so we do have that clock in play now, and honestly, it's not looking great for Grab Clanker. I've seen a few of the cards in our hand. We haven't got the switcheroo. It doesn't look like, I think we've got a far
Thermo Beam for the Sun Disc, I assume.
Yep, which is lovely, but we don't have Sun Disc in play right now, so that's irrelevant.
And a Rebuke. Okay.
A Rebuke. Okay, so it's a little bit stronger than I was hoping, but still not great when we're looking at power value. Going for another Overzealous Fan, just kind of trying to now hold this battlefield, trying to make Mascalismos spend a lot of units to try and take it back from them, just building up that board and saying, okay, well, I'm going to make you have to commit a lot here.
It's an interesting one, though, because Mascalismos, again, doesn't have to commit. Doesn't have to go onto that battlefield if they want to take the win. We'll see. Expectations is, you know, 1 unit into Candlelit, get Candlelit Sanctum trigger.
Lovely.
Look at those top 2, go to 6. 1 point ahead right now. Stacks the triggers effectively as well. Still not even bringing out the Breacher. Just like, okay, I'm happy with what I have. I don't want to risk the possibility of a falling star connecting.
No, it's safe where it is, and we have loads of runes in play to be able to cast that in at any stage. It's a brilliant choice to be able to just kind of hold back, have all your runes in play, and just say, this is fine. This is absolutely fine. And I know that I'm not going to need to go and swarm these battlefields right now, because actually it's not advantageous for me to do so. Let's check out those top cards. There's the Sun Disc. Okay. I'd be tempted by that.
So would I. I would be tempted by Vengeance on Brynir as well, though. Getting rid of 5 might at this point feels pretty powerful, right?
This is a tough decision.
Sun Disc obviously does allow you to bring in units ready, and that is what's going to get played. We do know there's a Thermo Beam in the hand of Grab Clanker, but that's a lot of power and energy to be used to try and deal with a singular Sun Disc. So I don't think we'll see that Thermo Beam too readily.
It just might not be worthwhile, and Mascalismos is making a very, very clean statement here with, I have units, can you do anything about that? I'm on 6 points right now. I can get to 8 next turn if I just push all of this in. I don't think Grab Clanker's going to be able to do enough.
There's also an argument here. You do have Legion effect on Sun Disc. Just plays the Rek'sai. That's interesting to me, because I feel like tapping the Sun Disc, getting the Legion effect, the Rek'sai coming in ready, doesn't really cost you anything. Like,
no.
You're not going to Sun Disc on your opponent's turn, so Rek'sai, you could have pseudo-accelerated it anyway, because Sun Disc counts as the first card you played for the Legion effect. So, yeah, it doesn't matter. At the end of the day, Rek'sai comes in anyway, but I might be... would you agree with that logic? If you play the Sun Disc, you might as well just tap it. Yeah,
I would say so. Yeah, I would like to see that, but again, I don't think there's any rush.
I don't think it matters too much because you're not going in with the Rek'sai, right? So it doesn't actually change anything. It's just one of those. It looks cuter when it's standing vertically rather than horizontally, right?
Whereas at the moment, actually, it's non-consequential to the outcome of the game. It doesn't matter right now. Both players are in a potentially winning position. We're on 7 to 6 points. It's all about these next couple of turns. It's all about how these players react to what one another are trying to do. A very clear stance from Mascalismos here, trying to just overwhelm the board with as many units as possible. And then Grab Clanker is going to be coming back and kind of almost doing not what Draven usually does, but almost spell slinging their way through this.
Yeah, you can see Mascalismos very much playing for that Void Burrower trigger with the Sun Disc already activated, get the Legion effect, and then try and swarm your second battlefield. Approach the first one, probably Candlelit Sanctum, just for the extra look at the top, the extra vision that you can get from it, and then try and overtake the Obelisk of Power on their turn. We do see the Grab Clanker going into the Candlelit Sanctum here. I wonder if perhaps we drew off the Conquer before we had the Sanctum trigger.
Looks like it from Kaiser's.
Yeah.
Not Kaiser, goodness. From the Draven effect there.
Yeah, so Judge was there, they sorted out, made sure that everything was sequenced exactly as we wanted it to be. There's the Thermo Beam to deal with the Sun. This does also take out the 2 seals, which does cost quite a bit for Mascalismos, but in the end, still very happy in terms of runes, has all 12 of them available for next turn.
And no cards in hand, so like got nothing to cast right now anyway, so... Oh no, I think they do actually have some cards in hand
now. They might be off towards the side, yeah.
They're off to the side. But still, a really respectable amount of resources in play. But again, Grab Clanker needs to limit that. They have to say, I need to put everything in that I've got in my court and just let you go and see if you can do this, leaving lots of runes ready to try and just hold on to these battlefields at this stage.
Bryn here of our own for Mascalismos. And Grab Clanker now needs to think about exactly how they want to deal with this, because you do, I think I saw a spinning axe in hand.
Yes,
which would be, you'd want to play that early. With the way Mascalismos is counting things out, it looks like it might have just been passed on.
Yes, it is Mascalismos' turn right now.
No, but I mean, with the Bryn here trigger.
Oh, with the Bryn here trigger,
yes. We didn't see anything played out from Grab Clanker.
No, I don't think so.
It might be that Mascalismos is just counting out while Grab Clanker decides whether or not they want to play that spinning axe.
Maybe. It's a really tough decision here because this is the make or break situation.
Yeah, exactly.
This is the tense moment. This is where both players have the potential to win the game. Their decisions in this moment makes history.
It really does. It really does for them. Going 2-0 as well really puts you in good stead for the rest of the tournament. Need to get 6 wins today if you're going to make it into that day 2. And being on a 2-0 run is great. Grab Clanker extending the hand. Mascalismos going to take it. Rek'sai defeating Draven 2-1 here in round 2. Huge performance by Mascalismos. A couple of moments where it looked dicey for him, but his ability to hold back, to build up that swarm and then really void rush his way into victory was superb.
Absolutely beautiful. Rek'sai breaching the win, taking it away from Draven, the kind of big baddie of the set right now. Rek'sai very understated. A lot of people were underestimating it.
Yeah.
And,
I think it's overrated. I think it can still be good. I just think it's overrated.
Fantastic deck. I think the amount of vision you get, the amount of card knowledge you get from your deck, I think is understated. I think it's fantastic. We saw it there in the game. Yeah. Many times to be able to really reduce the cost of your plays as well. Using the seals into the seal early on was a really great start for that kind of kick off the boardwalk, which was great. And then, unfortunately, we just didn't see much kickback from our opponent on that occasion. Yeah,
when you were playing Bryn here for value, like for might value rather than for not letting your opponent play card value, you know you're in a little bit of a difficult spot there for our Draven player. We're going to hand over to our winners interview though. Mascalismos, incredible stuff all round.
Welcome back. I am just now joined by our winner of the last featured match, Masca. How are you feeling, man?
Good. Starting 2-0, so that's good.
How did you prepare for the event?
I play with some of my friends in Montpellier, and we did a lot of testing on TCGA Arena, and that's pretty much it.
Well, it's going well for you so far into. You have picked Rek'sai. Can you explain to me why you did go with this pick?
I was maining Rek'sai when I played League of Legends, so it was a given when I saw it. I was ecstatic.
So Rek'sai also likes combats a lot. How did you prepare for the Draven matchup?
I don't really do combat with my Rek'sai. I index more in creature removal, so I don't play Under Titan. I'm more with the Vengeance, the Dragonder.
Okay.
So I don't play combat and I don't play day games.
That's very nice. Does that hurt any other matchups of yours, some that you want to avoid now?
I want to avoid Azir. Azir, it's my worst matchup. Too much little creature, and I can't do with little creature.
Well, so far it's going really well for you. You just beat a Draven in the last game with the Bryn here Thunder song.
Yep.
Do you want to say a little bit more about that card, how you're using it in this tournament?
Yeah, for the last game I was at 6 and my opponent was at 6 as well. So I knew that my next turn was probably my last. So I prepared a few units and Brynir in my hands to stop all his interaction.
Right, now one last final question, of course, before I let you go. What is your approach in deck building? You are playing a rogue deck. What do you think is the most important thing when building that deck?
I'd say check the meta decks, check what other players play with your legends, and try to keep an open mind, not just follow the list as the players play, but you try different things and see what goes with your game plan.
Phenomenal. Masca, thank you so much for your time.
Thank you.
We have a huge day of Riftbound ahead of us, so we're going to give it right back to the casters.